But I remember praying and saying, God, use me. I want to be of impact. Like my life is just all about me.
All right, welcome to the building, everybody. This is episode 6. I'm excited to have my brother, Carmean, in the building. You are a former Marine, right? Thank you for your service.
Technically, there's no former Marine, but just a Marine.
Always Marine.
That was a long time ago.
Okay. I'm not a military guy. I get mistaken for a military guy all the time. They're like, you in the military? I'm like, no, I couldn't stay out of trouble. I couldn't have trouble enough to get in the military, but appreciate your service, man. Thank you for that. You're also a member of Discovery Church over in Georgetown, right?
I am.
And you help out with the youth, and so we'll talk a little bit more about that.
Looking forward to it.
But as we always start the podcast, we get right into it, man. Tell us how you encountered Jesus, man.
Well, that is quite a journey.
Yeah.
You know how they say God can tap you on the shoulder, it can kind of shake you a little bit, or he can drop a ton of bricks on you and hit you with a 2x4.
Yeah.
He had to do all the above with me for many years.
Okay.
Many years. I have stubborn flesh.
Yeah.
Yes, stubborn flesh. I mean, I grew up, my dad and I, who shared, he's a pastor now, which is crazy to me. He didn't get saved till he was 47. So we grew up seeing Christmas and Easter right in a traditional church, just going because we felt like we had to.
Mm-hmm.
And so God was never really present in our home. Okay. Definitely of the world, but good upbringing and things, but not any type of spiritual guidance or spiritual compass that's absolute, right, as opposed to the world's relative compass. And through life, was a good kid, I guess, but, liked to party for sure. Always wanted to be different at wherever environment I was in. And so whatever that took, I did it.
Right.
So if somebody was doing X, I wanted to be doing X and Y type thing. And I was telling one of my good friends about this when he first heard my testimony. I said, just like any normal high school guy. And he stopped me. He's like, hey, that's not normal. We're not normal. We have a very similar story.
Right.
And he's right. Like most people don't take things to the extreme like I did. And, without delving too much into that, but I'm happy to get into it. I love to party. And that followed me everywhere that I went, everywhere. Especially love to drink. And if I could stay up longer to drink, that's what I wanted to do. And just loved it. Went about life and thought that was good. Even I remember in Paris Island, so this was 1997, the only free time that you got still squared away and locked on was in church. That was the first time I heard someone sing Awesome God. And I was like, well, what are they doing up there?
Right.
And someone gave testimony. I'd never heard that before. And I remember graduating in Paris Island. I said, I'm going to go check out church after this. Well, I never did. Fast forward Marines, college, nothing really changed. All about myself. Good dude by the world standards.
Right.
Was living outside Philadelphia and working in Center City. And I was living with my fiance at the time and doing well at work. And I was down with a new client and sitting in front of this guy. All I wanted him really to do was sign the paperwork. I knew I was going to make some money. And when I walked in, he said, no, this is mine. It's all God's.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, this guy's kind of strange, That's fine. Just sign his paperwork. We're doing some estate planning for him. And his trustee turned out to be his pastor. He's like, you got to go see him to get these signatures. So I went down to see his pastor, told him who I was there for, and he knew. And he just started talking to me, Todd, about some things. And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm in tears. It's like, listen, I got this church for you right outside where you're living. I know the pastor there. You should go. Got back to where we were living up there. Told my fiance at the time. I said, hey, we're going to this church. Went, loved it. And I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been missing in my life. So this is 2000, 2001,
Okay.
2002-ish. And we went home that night after the church. We filled out our card of new person or whatever like that.
Right.
Enjoyed it. It was probably 6 o'clock that night. Back then, I didn't think we had caller ID. Definitely didn't have a cell phone. It was a very crude one. And an elder called from that church. And he thanked us for coming. I was like, man, I enjoyed it. Like, we enjoyed it. He's like, oh, you married? I said, no, I live with my fiance. He's like, oh, you got to change that. You're going to hell. And I paused and I was like, well, this journey's been fun. Click, I'm out at this. Not happening. I was kind of bummed. And 30 minutes later, we get a cold call, marketing call. I'll never forget. Guy's name was David Hakes. And you could tell that this guy had made probably 300 calls that day. Probably most of them, someone told him to screw off or anything.
Right.
And he said, hi, this is David Hakes. I'm calling from Daybury Community Church. We're planning a church. Want to see if you're interested in coming in Collegeville, PA. And I said, you are? Yeah, we're looking for a church. And I remember he's like, you are? You want to come? I said, absolutely. So from that cold call, went to that church the next Sunday, loved it, and had a young pastor planting a church. I think he was like 30 something at the time. His name was John Pletcher. And it took me under his wing. We used to go to Chili's in King of Prussia once a week. And he would just kind of mentor me, disciple me. We were sitting there one day and he looked at me and he said, what's your holdup? Like, what are you waiting for? And my answer was, I'm afraid that I'm not going to have fun anymore. And he said, how the things that you think are fun are no longer going to be fun to you.
Was this in regards to getting married to your fiance, or was this just your lifestyle?
My life.
The surrendering some things.
Yeah, surrendering any of that. I'm like, what am I going to do for fun? That's all I like. How am I going to function not doing the things that I'm already doing, right? That I identify with, that I find comfort in, that's my fallback.
Yeah.
And he said, the things that you find fun, they're just not going to be fun to you. And that statement, this is what, 20-some years later, 25 years later, still rings true. Now, some people make that decision, and they're just a straight line, mostly, on that path. And I was so on fire, but my flesh is so strong. Ended up moving back down to Delaware and kind of falling back into some older habits and friends, and that was their fault, it's mine,
Right.
and people. But I remember every time I would go out, party or whatever, it sucked. And so I thought, well, I just need to ramp it up a little bit. More of that, whatever it is,
Right.
I need more of it. It's not filling my heart.
Yeah.
And I was miserable. Yeah, I mean, miserable, no matter how hard I tried. And I knew the answer. And eventually, God just said, you can continue to do this, and I'm going to let you feel like crap, and you're going to continue to unravel. And that's what happened. All the way up, ended up getting married, and just kind of, I knew what the right answer was. I knew it in my heart and refused to make that choice or let it in. I just kept blocking it off.
Yeah.
And that kind of culminated in 2007 on a day that I thought, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to get divorced, and I just don't want to do life anymore. And I let a couple friends know about some stuff, and one of them made a call, same luck, and I haven't looked back since. I say that road has not been bumpy, but God's opened up some incredible opportunities for me in a lot of different spaces.
Yeah.
To have impact. But I remember praying and saying, God, use me. I want to be of impact. Like, my life is just all about me. That's it. So whatever you need to do, strip everything away. And I would pray for godly men to be around, to bond with, to learn from, to look up to. And, God's way of teaching in his infinite wisdom is so much better. And he didn't do that at first. He stripped every single thing away from me in my life till I had enough.
Yeah.
I started building back piece by piece, knew what I needed at the right time with the right people. And I look back now at that season from, let's say, kind of 08, 09 to now, and it's just been amazing. Despite the ups and downs, despite, the path being straight and just going down the line like this and everything, it's an incredible season.
Yeah.
Of life, and everything that he did, everything that he uses me for now, it's humbling. And, I love podcasts or opportunities to talk about past failures, current failures, and probably some awesome future failures that I have, because it highlights how good God is.
Yeah, and it's going to encourage the younger generation of young men coming up, which we'll talk about a little bit in the latter part of the podcast. So you kind of started to touch on, how you encountered Jesus, and kind of, you thought you knew him, you thought you were there with him, and that's been a common theme on the podcast. Is like a lot of the guests and a lot of just us, we kind of get saved and think that life's gonna be easy at that point, right? And it's like he never promised that it would be easy, but he promised he'd never leave us or forsake us and put those people around us that we need. But what are some of the things that you've endured, would you say, that, and how have you kept your faith? Like, if you could say, yes, the internal struggle of addiction, that's the struggle for all men, is lust, and we have all these sins that are there, that sin is crouching at the door, right? And wants to destroy us. We have that internal struggle every day with our flesh. What about some external factors that came in? You're like, what the heck is going on, God? Why is this happening to me? And you're forced once again to trust him. I know that for this, how this podcast was birthed, through me kind of finally surrendering and going, all right, it's not going to be my way. It's just not. And he goes, are you going to serve me anyway? Right? I didn't get all the things that I wanted after I got saved. And I did things I thought the right way. Like you said, good guy by the world's standards. But he said no in a lot of areas, challenged me with things that I was like, come on, I don't really want this challenge.
Right.
And so what are some of the challenges you faced, and how have you kept your faith?
True. There's been a lot. There's definitely an overarching theme, but I do want to just highlight what you said about what we try to fill our hearts with. It doesn't matter what it is: drugs, alcohol, possessions, lust, relationships. Every single thing what the world could consider good, you'll never fill your heart with it. You can try.
Yeah.
That's a lot of men's struggle. Even if it's a good thing by the world's standard, it's never going to fill your heart with peace and contentment. It just won't. And that's a hard thing to realize, especially as men. We're A-types. Well, I hang around a lot of A-types. So it's like, okay, this is the objective. This is how we get it. We'll figure it out and move and go. God doesn't work like that sometimes, but we're thankful that he knows a lot. I would say overarching, I love being able to trust people. I love that type of relationship where I trust unconditionally. And I would say there's just been a lot of betrayal in my life, both on the business side, personal side, things like that.
Yeah.
And that's hard. You're right. Like, I want X, and God's got other plans for that. He's got things that are better. We can't see them in our minute minds compared to the creator of the universe.
Right.
There's been multiple instances, especially on the business side of things, which I say business, it's not so about business, it's about the relationships inside.
Right.
And that's the, say, Achilles heel for me, but that cuts deep on that. And when you lose people that are important to you, how do you turn back to God and have gratitude? That's a hard thing, hard thing to do. And the only way you could do it is just to trust. I mean, the Bible says he loves you. He wants to prosper you in all things. And if that happens to you, he's got better plans. He's just pruning the vine, my man.
Yeah.
To make way for better things. And if I look back on all those instances, that was the case.
Right. He was protecting you for something, or you can see it in hindsight that how he worked in that situation.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, however he created me is to feel that very emotionally deep.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like that. And I'm thankful for that too.
You love hard, so you get hurt hard. And that's just kind of how it goes when you put yourself out there and you trust people well, you entrust yourself to people well, and then when they don't return that, it hurts.
It does.
And what's he say? He says to love your enemies. Grace has been the most powerful word.
Bless your enemy.
Yeah, bless your enemy. Yeah.
That's hard.
It is.
That's very hard.
But you've been wronged. Yeah.
How selfish of me too to, we give off a certain amount of love, which we think is love and compassion and trust and all of that. But it's also kind of selfish for us to expect people to do it our way. This is how I love, so I want to be loved back this way.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need love like lovey-dovey, but just in a relationship, friend or whatever. And so the Holy Spirit convicts me of that sometimes to say, it's pretty selfish of you.
Yeah.
God's made them different than you, and they express that a different way.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
And his example as far as leadership and what that looks like, I mean, he was washing the disciples' feet and just serving them. And we had talked off camera about the importance of service. And so, I know you had wanted to highlight that some of the things you're involved in with, what is this organization that you work with?
So there's a few different organizations, but what I'd said was never is my cup fuller than when I'm pouring it out for others.
Yeah.
And I've been that guy that's depressed, sitting on the couch, what am I going to do? And let's mask this with whatever. And my advice to that is the quickest way out of that, turn into the Lord, but go serve. In some capacity, serve someone, serve a group, and things like that. And over this kind of 15-year season, plus years, God has given me the opportunity to work with youth, specifically the high school age and that 18 to 25. And that's really where my passion is helping develop them in leadership and resiliency and really their identity in Christ, both positional, where God says they are as a son of his, and then their unique identity. How did God build them? What are their talents? Where can they lead? Where can they serve?
Yeah.
And I think this generation in that age group is special, talented. They crave authenticity.
Yeah.
Crave it. They want responsibility. They're just not given it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't give a lot of authenticity out there in the world. The world's not full of anything authentic anymore, hardly at all, I think. You really have to fight and dig deep for it. And then we push responsibility away from them because they're not ready to handle that. They're not ready to handle it. We don't challenge them.
Right.
They're resilient. You just need to bring it out.
Yeah.
Well, there's ways to do that, both physically and mentally,
Yeah.
and spiritually. Let's put them in the position to lead. One of our themes at youth group, I work specifically with the high school young men, but our theme overall is, adult facilitated, student led. Put them in position to do that and let them go and watch what God does through that.
Right.
It is amazing when it happens. But I do some work with a group that I met about 5 years ago called 3 to 7 Project, run by Chad and Blake Wright down in North Georgia. I've been instructing with them for quite a while, and they do different experiences to develop them spiritually, mentally, and physically, of men and women. I would say 18 and above. I'll be down there next month.
Is there any age? Because I'm signing up for this thing.
Hop on the Tellite site and get on there. So that is, Chad's a former SEAL, and so it's not a bust 'em session of a weekend where you're going to be challenged physically. You will be challenged physically, but you're going to be challenged spiritually. We're not bashful about the word and who God is. And you don't have to be a believer to go, but you will hear the gospel. We're not going to be bashful about that. Through that group and building great friendships with them, I met a gentleman who also instructs with them, but has done mission work in that youth field forever. Internationally, in war-torn areas, just name it, he's been in. And the last few years, or about 3 years ago, he started this group called Beyond. And it's specifically about the 18 to 25-year-old, kind of that forgotten demographic, where maybe they've been in church their whole life, they're made to go, they choose to go, but then they're out of the house and there's no guardrails out.
Yeah.
They don't really know who they are. They're figuring that out, and the world is tempting out there. And so going back to developing leadership in them, resiliency, the positional, unique identity in Christ, I love that. And we do that through experiences. So whether it's being out in the wilderness in the backcountry on a backpacking trip for 3 days, where we can get away from distractions, put them in roles where they can succeed and fail, and give them real-time feedback. And it is not easy. They are going to be challenged physically, mentally, and spiritually. And then continue that into a 4, 6, or 12-month discipleship.
If you think about this, I think about this as I was a young man that wanted to go in the military, right? But like I said, I couldn't stay out of trouble. So couldn't get all my T's crossed and my I's dotted to get into the military. But I mean, the majority of our country is men who haven't been in the military. It's the few are called, as far as in their slogan in the Army, it's like
The few, the proud, and rich.
yeah, the few and it's the few. It's not everybody's doing what military men do, but the camaraderie and we said this earlier. I was like, man, Jesus had a group of 12 and he was leading them, discipling them, training them in the way that they should go. And we've got men all over our country that don't have any of that, or like you said, after high school, your high school gym teacher is no longer your mentor. He's gone. If you didn't have a father mentoring you in your 20s, it's gone. And I experienced that for myself. I ran away from home as a young man and tried to figure life out on my own and had no one to take me under their wing. And we see it in the Bible all throughout the scripture. Timothy had a Paul, right? I mean, it's like, I'm like that Timothy guy in my 40s, but that's looking for my Paul. And there's many Paul men out there that are leading by example, and you're one of those men and that are doing it. And it's like, I want to learn to become one of those men. And how do we do that? And what you're saying is these experiences and that military kind of mindset of like, we're going to go do some hard things and challenge and push yourself to that limit, because we don't do it. We're so comfortable, man.
Well, comfort kills. It does, sure. And you grow when you are not in comfort and challenging yourself. It's okay to fail. I think some of society today is you have to succeed and can't fail, right? Everything's on social media, right? How many people post stuff where they fail, right? They fail multiple times daily, right? Spiritually, mentally, and physically. Parenting, whatever it is. And we're right. For men too, we need authentic relationships where we can lower our church face and talk about real things, in that Bible, whether it's Timothy or the name's going to escape me here, the guy that literally carried the letters some of the letters to one church, right? He's in the Bible for like one sentence. That's his role. That's how he's weaved into God's story.
Right.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We don't have to be Paul. We don't have to be,
We won't be Paul. We won't be these characters, but you see like that example of taking somebody under and going, I'm not going to let you go this way. And there's so many of our youth that are struggling without a father, and
the struggles they face are real. And sometimes the world not sometimes, most of the time the world discounts that. They're like, oh, you don't even have bills yet. You don't have this. You don't have X. It's relative. What they deal with in schools today, I mean, I can't imagine what they deal in relationships. How old are you, Ty?
43.
Okay. So, and you look young, buddy. Thanks. I'm impressed. That is awesome. So we didn't grow up in a world of social media, right? If things went crappy at school, you went home, you could forget about it. Might bug you a little bit. Go to bed, eat dinner, whatever it is, forget about it. Kids today, they will get away from it. It's in their face, buzzing on their phone, non-sit down.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that intense pressure. Where do you route that pressure? What's the solution to that?
Right.
And as men, we are called to step up and serve others, but serve that generation. There is an incredible amount of talent God put into that age, and they're going to lead us on an incredible spiritual battlefield out there. They have an incredible opportunity to do that. Our job is to equip them.
Yeah.
And I feel very passionate about that. In, any group that I'm in terms of youth, it's funny, like I'm so charged up, and then I'll come home and be like, tell Mandy, I'm like, yeah, not needed anymore. We developed these leaders. I'm telling me to be there. And that's the goal, right? And your role doesn't go away. It's just a different role.
Yeah.
Probably being in the weeds with a lot of stuff.
How many youth do you guys have over at Discover Church?
So right now we're averaging about 60 to 70 a week.
That's awesome.
And the interesting statistic is it's 80-20, 80% students that do not go to our church on a regular basis, 20% that do. And they want to be there. So I guess Chanel does an amazing job.
Yeah, you Chanel sing. Shout out to Chanel.
She's
Pastor Curtis Jones. We love you.
And it is nice to go in. Oftentimes when you're in a church, a smaller church, like Discover small, but 200-300 people, when there's a role to be filled, there's not a ton of volunteers, and you're usually left leading, and it just weighs on you.
Yeah.
You got a million things going on, kids, life, work. This role I've had here has been nice because I'm not the main person, right? Chanel is an incredible leader. I love being under her leadership.
Yeah.
I know she's getting it from the Bible. It's going to be scripturally correct. She don't take no crap, right? And I love that. My role there with her and all of our leaders under her is to do everything that she needs done to facilitate her to be able to look at the big picture.
Yeah.
And in working with these youth, without her having to tell us. She's got to tell us some stuff, but I want to make her job as easy as possible.
Yeah.
And it's been an awesome environment to do that. Are there limitations to what you can do with 60 to 70? Yeah, it's an awesome problem to have.
Right.
From growing from the 8 she had that were pastors' kids when they started to what it is now and what it's going to go to. I think I was telling you we had 10 baptisms already this year of youth. And that's an amazing commitment in the pressure and stress and ridicule that these students face when they do that, or they say that they love Jesus. It's not easy for them. And to see them step up and take charge, and it's so motivating. So whatever I can do to facilitate that and be used by God, I'll do it. Most of the time, all the time, it's how to get out of the way. God, what do you want me to do? And follow that. When I interject, that doesn't go as well with that. But it's just an incredible opportunity to change the world. I mean, I said this at Spoken Church probably 2 months ago. Forget the topic, but I opened with, how many people are upset with politics today, with government? Can you believe these decisions we're making? Whose fault is it? We're not in there.
Right.
Whatever side that you're on, we
in a space.
We picked up everything and said we're not going to play in there anymore. And then we wonder why things are the way they are.
Yeah.
We picked up and left.
Yeah.
You can't complain. And so if we want to be back involved with that, this next generation is going to have a huge impact on that. And you need them rock solid when they go in. We need to equip them with everything possible that God will use us for, to pour into them, to be out there on the front line with that. And I enjoy that. Yeah, I enjoy that very much.
You're also a runner, aren't you? A marathon runner?
Well, marathon scares me.
Yeah.
People ask me that all the time. So I typically run ultras, 100-mile races.
Ultras. I'm not a runner. I'm a sprinter. But tell me a little bit about that part of your life.
Yep, it's 2020. Shutdowns happening. I'm lifting like crazy, and in my garage, and tear something in my shoulder. I don't like to go to the doctor, but out of his deal, my wife was tired of hearing me complain, not sleep. She's like, "You're going to the doctor." Went, had a partial tear in one of the tendons, and they're like, it needs surgery, but your insurance is going to require you 4 months of PT prior to that. I said, "Well, what's that going to do?" He's like, "Nothing. It's just going to be required." I said, "Cool. I'm not getting surgery. I'll tough it out." Sat around for like a month, fat and nasty. I was like, I think I need to go run.
Yeah.
And I'd run good distances my whole life.
Right.
And I went out, ran a mile in our neighborhood, about died.
Yeah.
I said, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing. Did it. Next day. About a week later, I come home early from work. I was like, I'm gonna run to town. It's 3.5 miles to town, 3.5 back. I hadn't run 7 miles, I can't tell you how long. Left a note for my wife with time domains and said, if I'm not back, and this is the last time you hear from me, this is where I'm at, look in the ditch. I fell over, got back, did that run, it was awesome. Next week, my buddy who runs ultras came with me, he's like, let's go run 10. Ran 10, he's like, there's people out there that run 100 miles. So let me give you this audiobook. And it was Dean Karnazes, kind of the original ultra marathoner for Goggins, running the hundreds and things like that. And I was like, people run 100 miles at once. He's like, yeah. I was like, let's do it. So this was late August when I first started running that mile. We ran our first 100 in March of that following year. So it's 6-7 months couch to 100 mile. I do not recommend that. But I knew I'd have one shot at this, and I wasn't going to start out. So ultra was considered, a marathon's 26.2.
Right.
Ultra was considered anything above that, which was the first stops, like the 50Ks, 32.4, whatever that math is. I was like, I'm not going to build up because I don't really enjoy running, and I'm not going to do this for a few years. We're going to get this in one shot and done. It was just an awesome experience. Ran the first 100, loved it. I mean, it hurts, but it's more mentally challenging.
Yeah.
I think our longest training run was 30 miles. And so you're in the race and you hit 30, you're like, ooh. Then you get to 40, you're like, 10 miles till I'm halfway. And your body's breaking down, everything hurts.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
But the reason I enjoy running them, there's a lot of reasons, but it gives you a chance to practice being patient, being present, being deliberate. You can't run mile 99 on mile 1. You have to keep this process over and over. Yeah. It's going to hurt, and that's okay. This is just how the situation is going to be until it's done. Yeah. Whatever that is, that's fine. This is just how it is.
Yeah.
I can apply those things to life. Yeah. During training, you don't want to get up and run. You don't want to do this or that. It hurts. It translates over to life. Now, is it tragedy, things like that? No, but it gives me the tools for some of that. You get 60, 70 miles deep into a run, and you've been running for 15, 20 hours, it starts to suck.
Yeah.
Big time. But that opened up a ton of things I wanted to do in my life. Met some amazing people. It's how I met most of my crew down in North Georgia. I had all those guys, but never had that opportunity had I not decided to say, hey, let's just go try to run a mile, which I walked most of that, fresh mile.
Right.
Met a lot of good people through there. Haven't run, so last 100 I ran was March of 24, and I'll run them now. I don't really run them for myself. If someone wants to run their first 100, and I know they're going to train, and know they're going to work on their nutrition, if you have to eat and drink during that entire race, you get behind on that, you might as well hop in the truck.
Oh yeah, I bet.
So if they're serious about that, I enjoy taking someone through their first 100, because if you're doing that with someone, it's their first, you don't have the option to get tired. You're smiling, you're always upbeat, you just had to. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, you're there for them, yeah.
And to watch them go through that at mile 25, mile 50, and mile 80, it's fun because I know, I don't, all I worry about is the breakdown in front of me. At most, that'll be the next mile finishing. And then sometimes it's 20 yards up ahead. And so help keep them on track. We only got 5 miles. No, you got the next mile in front of you. I don't want to eat because my stomach hurts. If you don't eat, we'll go ahead and get in the truck because we're not finishing.
Yeah.
You're going to eat, we'll finish. I'll get you there.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch that. And it's, you look back, I always say the finish line is for everybody else. Because once you cross it, that's it, right? All that emotion kind of fades.
Yeah.
You could get into a bad habit of what's next. It was 101 miles, this was 200. But if you look back on the training and the process to get to that point, man, that's awesome. That's where the growth is.
Yeah.
This is so true in life with our trials, tribulations, and things that happen.
Yeah.
You turn to God when you're happy and when you're sad, when you're challenged.
And that's it, man. It's you will never be able to overcome the trials in your life unless you've done hard things already. right? I mean, why not do hard things so you're ready for the next hard thing?
All right, great.
And that's
that. Let's go out and run right now.
Your whole testimony and life, man, motivates me for sure, man. And I want to know, we've talked about how you've encountered Jesus. We've talked about some of the things you endure. I mean, you're doing these marathon runs, insane stuff. What can the people do out there that are listening and watching do to get involved in some of the things that you're involved in? I know Discover Church's doors are always open. The youth, what time do they meet every week?
6:30 every Wednesday night.
Okay.
Dinner's at 6:30. We start at 7.
All right.
It's always a good meal.
So we're going to shout that out so people can know where to find you there.
I'd love to have you. Let me say this, Todd, too. Wait, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm just a normal dude.
Yeah.
That's it.
Me too.
And I just refuse to accept what the world wants to tell me.
Right. We're different. We got to be different.
That's it. I'm an ordinary dude doing these things. I show up to, like, take the 100, for instance. I'm a big guy. I do not look like a runner.
Right.
I remember I told my dad, because he ran cross country in college.
Yeah.
He's like, son, you've never even run a marathon before. He's like, I ran the Boston Marathon. It's hard. And you're just trying to run 4 of them at a time. I'm like, I'll be all right. Yet I enjoy being the big dude there, right? They think I'm creative, but I'm an ordinary guy.
Yeah.
Just apply what God teaches me, and he wants me to grow spiritually, mentally, physically.
Yeah.
You got to do it. I want to be there for my family. I want to be there for my kids. I want to be there for that stranger. I want to be there. I want to be there for me too.
How can we serve with consistency if we're not strong? Right. I mean,
so the plug,
you get worn out. You do it. Jesus says, don't grow weary in doing good. And it's like, we do as men, but doesn't mean we should quit.
No, you'd eventually discern on what you say yes to and what you say no.
Right.
I have a very hard time saying no. And it'll fester to the point where that's too much.
Yeah.
Then where are your priorities? Cross, family, and
tell me a little bit more about these meetings. What is it, down in Georgia only, or is it?
It's a lot of places, but those guys down there at 3-7 Project are doing an amazing thing.
3-7 Project.
3 of 7 Project.
3 of 7.
Yeah. So I was saying, Chad was just on Joe Rogan a few months ago. He gave Joe the word for 3 straight hours.
Hey, listen, we're gonna have to tag him in this episode. Didn't let me see it.
A few straight hours.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
It was awesome.
That's really cool.
And they're just amazing. It's amazing people.
3 of 7. What does that mean?
So it's based on Ezekiel 37.
Okay.
Where God spoke life into those bones.
Yeah.
And what they're doing down there in training and equipping men and women is also.
So I'm not a military guy at all, right? I do lift. I lift weights, and I'm all about building muscle and stuff. That's great. Hence the building, all that. Being men of God that are good examples. What would it be like if I was just a regular guy like me, who just goes to church on Sundays and Bible study on Wednesday, trying to serve the Lord, but I've hit that wall in my life, and I want to challenge myself and find a good group of guys that I can go on an adventure with.
Oh, you'll plug in down there. I mean,
would I be a great candidate?
Yeah. Very rare do we have any military people in any of the groups.
Really? Okay. Because I think people are kind of intimidated by, they're intimidated by the military vibe of like, oh, I've not exposed myself to weapons, or I've never been around MMA and kind of combat sports and things like that.
They have a few different, and they're each type of experience is different. There's some in the backcountry, some in a kind of a contained unit, and then there's others that are more endurance based. And they don't give out a lot of information. That's by design. On
I'm like invite only kind of thing.
what it's going to entail, but it will tell you if you want to be challenged spiritually, mentally, and physically. Come on down, and we're going to give you every single thing we have in all 3 aspects. But I'll tell you this.
What's the duration? I'm just curious.
Let's do Friday to Sunday.
Friday to Sunday. And is it every quarter? Do they do them every spring, every summer?
Depends on the event, but there's multiple throughout. All right, I will say this. Every group that I've been a part of, led, or been an instructor on, that group, whether it be 7 on some of them up to, let's say, 25, that group stays together. Literally, all the students from there. They still talk on a regular basis and form some incredible bonds and friendships because you are bonding shoulder to shoulder, going through hard things.
Yeah.
And
we need that as people, man.
I had 2 of my people from work go down last year, and to see them employ the things they learned from there, it's amazing.
I'm sure there's many things learned. I mean, determination, coping mechanisms, you're putting under high stress. And so you're having to adapt to those situations.
A lot of leadership development, and A lot of people come, they're in a leadership position already, whether they're blue collar,
I think they're
white collar,
here, and then they get
then they're all, yeah, right. Then they have to be on the team and not the leader.
yeah.
And they find out, wow, I'm doing a poor job, or I could improve in this area. And I find that out eating a truck.
You know, it's something that I've always been observant, right, of other people, and can be critical of. That's my flesh, is to be critical of others. But I look at leaders and I wonder, how did you get that spot? Like, how did you get to that point? Who gave you the authority, right? And for me, I feel like a good leader is a man that you can up and down, you can look in his front and backyard and it's solid. You know, there's nothing to hide. He is the man that he says he is, in the light and in the dark. And
You know what leaders do?
what?
They make the call.
Yeah.
Right, whether that decision turns out to be right or wrong, they don't hesitate, they make the call.
Yeah.
And they're not afraid to step up to do that. And that's scary sometimes.
Yeah,
That's very scary.
it is.
And those guys down there just had an incredible program to help bring that out. 3-7 Project.
Oh, project. Okay.
And real quick, the offshoot of that,
Yeah.
not offshoot of that, but another gentleman, James Ward down there, who's been in ministry and mission work his entire life overseas in war-torn areas and youth, started a group called Beyond, and it specializes sort of style of that, but building resiliency, leadership, and that identity.
And you said the age range.
Teenagers, we had 5. He's been doing an amazing job. They partnering with a lot of churches. Even in our area, we've introduced them to some churches, and the goal there is they'll have the curriculum, the experiences.
Yes, bring him up here, man.
Set up the discipleship for either 4 or 6 months.
Yeah.
And the key there is to identify and train the men in that church to pour into those young men,
Right.
or women in that church to pour into those young women,
Yeah.
so that it's impactful and personal of that church.
Yeah.
And they're just doing a great job with that. I love to see it. And it doesn't have to be them. Like, if you're looking for somewhere to plug in and come to Discover, come hang out at youth group, come hang out on Sunday, introduce yourself. I'd love to meet you and hear your story. Like, I am literally an ordinary dude that fails and has failed all the time, but God just never let go.
That's right.
And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I don't have it all together. And if you're feeling bad, go serve, find something. If you don't know where to serve, come find me. Come find you, Todd.
Yeah.
You'll plug them in.
Yeah.
God's got amazing plans for you. If I look back into that season and that 08 where I just thought, and I don't even want to be around me. How would God ever use me? How can I ever be impactful? How can I have a meaningful relationship?
Yeah.
How can someone trust me and my word? And God changed all that. On his timetable, I'd like to have it next.
Yeah. It's like you step up and serve that one time, and then people go, "Oh, look at him over there serving." You serve again. Oh man, he's serving a lot. He serves again, and people, the leadership around you, will notice and go, "He's consistently serving." That's when you can get elevated. You're serving in humility, and God, it poses the proud. It gives grace to the humble. He lifts you up when you're just keeping your head down and serving people.
Consistency is key. Do you ever increase your bench by doing it once a year?
Right.
It's the little things every day. Yeah, it always doesn't go your way. It's not always a good gym session.
Yeah, and it's such a beautiful thing to serve others, man. And I just made a video I do these little reels and stuff, but I try to just encourage people, get out there and do something, tell somebody else. I work in healthcare. I have the blessing of doing it as a career. As I go in and I serve people, you get to do that in your finance group where you're helping people, doing life, making big decisions with people. And get out there and serve. That's what it's about. The church is not a building, it's his people, and it's outside the 4 walls. And it's up to us, the ones that are consistent, leaders in our church, to go out and find other people and raise up other leaders. It's kind of a great model. Jesus set the model, the scripture sets the model. It's up to us to do it. And so
The world, and it's often our fault, right? The church, corporate church, and the walls are without. The world has an opinion that everyone in the church, they think they're perfect.
right.
Boy,
For if they only knew, yeah. And that's why our testimony comes in of saying, I just gave this thing up last week. I'm just, now if you're in a leadership position and you're dealing with sin, there's accountability within the church. But, you don't, the cliche saying, you don't need to clean yourself up before you get in the shower. You get in the shower dirty and let God wash you clean.
what's the other one? You don't need to lose weight before you start a diet.
Hey, yeah, exactly. And that's true for all of us.
And there's some awesome stories about Jesus in there flipping tables.
Yeah.
Like, he's a man's man.
Yeah.
What control, restraint to have all the power in the world and conduct himself like he did
For us, I'm telling you, and I struggled with anger for many years, and bitterness and church hurt and things like that. And looking at Jesus' example, I mean, he was a gentleman, right? Strong but gentle. And that's helped me a ton in my marriage. Just being, I want to be the gentlest in the room. I want to be the nicest guy in the room, the most smiling person in the room. Now, it's not always possible, but that's what I strive to be like, is to be the most kind and gentle man nowadays. Because it doesn't work the other way around in our flesh. It just doesn't, man.
Let me ask you this. What's the coolest thing you got going on right now that's just driving you?
No, I mean, so this has been amazing. Like I said, the Building Podcast is on episode 6. This was birthed out of me surrendering alcohol finally. I was one of those guys that thought, well, I was a heroin addict. So the social aspect of drinking at a wedding, it's like Jesus turned water into wine. I kind of made excuses for myself and began to see how alcohol was trying to steal my joy. And after some circumstances that happened, I realized like he's called me to more. And when I surrendered that thing and when I'm done with that, I'm not hyper fixated on that on the weekends. You kind of consume yourself with pleasure in life. We like to shop. We like video games. We like energy drinks, caffeine, stimulants, fitness. You can become overly addicted to those things, your personal, image and all these things. And I just went, I'm surrendering this to you, Lord. Now show me what to do. And I was in Ephesians and reading and just kept seeing the theme of building each other up and building. And I'm like, there's amazing churches all over the county here in Sussex County in Delaware. There's amazing men who are leading Bible studies and nobody knows about them. And I'm like, I want to tell everybody about them. And so you're one of those guys that has chosen to come on and speak and share what God's doing. That's what's the most exciting thing for me. And Narrow Way Church is our church now. I used to be a member with you over there. Not a member, but attending over at got on the worship team with you guys and Frank Honus and good brothers over there. But God kind of worked it out to where I was asked to come and help start a church. And, being as I'm a drummer, I get to help lead worship. And God's kind of growing our church. We're learning to do life with each other. We got prayer on Tuesdays. Every other Tuesday, we worship on Sundays at 10:30. And just seeing, it's been amazing to be a part of a startup. We started in the living room, talking about Jesus, telling our problems, and it's grown into, what it is today. And we've got a good group, probably about 50 or 60 believers in the building with us. And we're looking for our own building at some point. I help do some things with Code Purple and Love Inc. I try to help with the homeless.
That speaks very highly of Love Inc.
Yeah, Love Inc. is amazing. They have such a great system in helping bridge the gap between churches and people in need. And they have a system and it just works great. If anybody's looking to volunteer, call Love Inc. You can volunteer. I mean, there's so many amazing opportunities out there to serve. I know Discover has a serve day. You guys do a monthly serve day on Saturdays. And that's what we're looking to kind of trying to figure out. So I'm praying about some things about going out into the community. And I'm the kind of guy who's going to bring the cameras. I want to bring the cameras to show people. I want to do philanthropy at some point, meaning if I was getting entrusted with a lot of money, I'd be the guy that would go give it all away.
Well, hey, stewardship's not just money.
Yeah.
God gave you all your talents, all your ability, and we're charged to be good stewards with those.
Yeah.
Finances are certainly one of them.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, man, you encourage me. You do big time. This is awesome. We'll continue to get this story out and give people the opportunity. This is, men and women need more authentic conversation that's not in the four walls or in a traditional Bible study. Not that those aren't great. We need them. But real conversations about real life and not being afraid to put your junk out there.
Yeah.
There's a time in my life where I would call the church since birth, man. Like, I can't relate to that guy. Like, I got nothing for him. Right. He's got nothing from it. God humbled me in that because God has specific use for that person of wisdom, experience, grounded in
one that you don't have. Yep.
Definitely.
Right.
But God has also used my past choices and experiences in life to drop men in my life who I could just identify they're trying to fill their heart with something and it's not going well. And it could be whatever. Of the world that the world considers good or the world considers bad, doesn't matter. You can see in their faces.
Yeah.
I want to be in that spot. They go, hey, I got something better for you. Come with me for a little bit. Let me show you something. Let me show you some real men. Real men like you, kind of, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And like the world needs more men like you.
Well, I appreciate it.
On it. Like we want to have, and we're not always going to get it right. We're not. And I want to encourage you with this podcast. I had a men's group that I started, felt led to start, and it started as more of a business one and it developed out of that. I remember coming home, this is 2011, and telling Mandy, my wife, hey, it's going great. And we had like 2 or 3 guys. Then all of a sudden, there was none. I went every Friday, 7 a.m. to this bagel shop and sat there. She's like, keep going. You're called to be there. I would come home and be like,
Yeah.
there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And in that group, just, it was God's timing, just grew it. And there was real relationships. People would phone in, be a speaker if they couldn't make it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Some incredible friendships there. And I think about that as you talk about how excited, and I love listening to your passion for this podcast of what you want to do with it and how God's directing you. Stay encouraged. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the mission.
Yeah, I won't. I feel called to it, and this has been great. Hopefully we'll get you on another episode, man.
We're tough forever.
And like I said, I've been saying this to throw up with all my guests. We kind of stick to the structure of it, how you encounter Jesus, boom, 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 we move down the line and we say, thanks for coming. But at some point, man, we'll get into the deeper stuff, like let's talk about anger. Let's talk about lust and the things that we deal with as men. Or, hey, start sharing personal testimony about the surgery that Jesus does in our heart, because it's a never-going process. As long as we keep showing up for him, he's going to continue to work on us, man, and change us. And I've been, this whole theme of like doing hard things, and in this episode, I've been into fasting recently and like try to encourage men to fast. Like, you don't need 3 meals a day. Come on. Like,
Till that time you're hungry with the Lord.
yeah.
See what happens.
So, I mean, I'm kind of, God's been working in me, and I've just been trying to share what he's dealing with me about, and hopefully it encourages others, man. There's a guy sitting on the couch right now that's going to see this and go, maybe I could get out there and surf. Maybe I should do some hard things, man.
Yeah. Do hard things, challenge yourselves. And that doesn't have to be run 100 miles or fast, whatever it is. If it's walking to the mailbox in one continuous stride without like stopping, do it.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow, guess what? You walk to the mailbox and a little bit extra.
And you don't have to do it alone. I'm sure we haven't connected in a long time, but we're now connected again. I'm sure I could hit you up tomorrow. Hey, man, I'm struggling. Pray for me, man. Let's go for a run, man. And you'd be there because you're that authentic guy that we're talking about that the youth needs. And I want to be that guy. I want to be available for the people that need me. And yeah, man. So
Call me anytime for a run. You got with therapy time.
Yeah.
My buddy would run and I would just dump the stuff during those 4 or 5 hour runs.
yeah,
And men are called to share and bond shoulder to shoulder, however that looks. That's how God designed us.
Yeah.
And most of the time that's through hard things, but the definition of hard is relative to your spot in life. Get out, get moving, challenge yourself, go serve.
Yeah.
God has more for you.
And that's the thing. I was in a season where I felt like there aren't any good men out there, right? I had dad issues. I had whatever was going on with the church hurt and things like that. But I had to wake up and go, there are good men. You need to go find them. Don't sit around on your couch depressed, waiting for them to come to you, knock on your door. Go out and find them. Go say, I'm struggling. Hey, I'm dealing with this. Hey, I just fell to this sin. Could you pray for me? It says in the word, confess your sin to one to another. We need each other, man. And so
Pray about it. God wants to drop that person in your life. And if it's not tomorrow, it's because God's got a better solution the next day.
Yeah.
Be patient.
Yeah.
That's hard. Don't pray for patience.
we write people up. We'll write people up before we even meet them. We write people up based off of their appearance, based off of their financial situation, their status, the car they drive. We look at people up and down and judge them before we even.
That's why you hit the nail on the head. It's important for us to share and be authentic about our struggles.
Yeah.
Because that's how people can relate out there that are struggling.
Yeah.
They'll see us and go, oh, well, look, they're in shape. Their hands down. Dude, no.
I mean, I help with the homeless, and I'll say a few things to them. They'll look at me like, what are you talking about, man? You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, I was homeless for 2 years. And they go, oh, you do know. You know what it's like to be me. And then my words don't fall on deaf ears. They go, this guy knows what he's talking about. Hey, he ended up getting a home someday by the grace of God, And so no matter what we go through, man, it's like we can encourage the next man that's right behind us. So how, man, brother? I love you, man.
I love you too, bro. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
love to come back and dive into whatever you want.
Yeah.
Come down and see us in the office.
Yeah.
We'd love to have you on our podcast.
Let's do it. And then tell us about that before we end. Tell us about your podcast, what it's called.
Clarity Corner is how
Okay.
Lexi has branded that. She is our engagement marketing director and actually sitting behind us.
Really? Yeah.
We're blessed to have her.
Yeah.
She's brought a dynamic to the company that is
And we can
awesome.
look for financial tips,
Yeah, so
Christ-centered principles, business principles, things like that.
do you know with finances, it's super simple. There's only 4 places money can go.
Right.
Live, give, grow, and owe. What you spend when you live, what you give in the form of your tithes,
Yeah.
what you owe in taxes and debt, and what you save to grow.
There you go.
Everything else is just the logistics of that. You dive as deep, but it breaks down to there. How God honoring are you in those 4 areas? And if you feel like, man, I'm struggling in this area, that's what we focus on. That's finances. It doesn't matter if the comma or decimal point sits in your net worth. It all breaks down to that.
Well, listen, we're going to partner up. I'm going to be sharing your content as much as I can. You do the same, and
Absolutely.
we'll keep building together, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Yes, all right.